Tes 1 2 3 masuk suaranya. Oke, halo semuanya, welcome again with me Sakamoto Asura di live stream. Bagaimana kabar kalian hari ini? Semoga baik-baik saja. Jadi, gimana kabar kalian guys? Jadi pada malam hari ini, malam minggu kita live stream, kita akan bermain game ya. Jadi ini adalah game yang bisa dibilang game yang sangat-sangat kontroversial ya, sangat-sangat apa ya bisa dibilang ya, sangat ambigu gitu. Ya betul sekali seperti yang kalian lihat di judul dan juga di thumbnail ya. Jadi ini game ini bernama GENITAL JOUSTING ya. Jadi adalah game game apa aja, game adu titit aja. Jadi pertama ini game adu burung ya pokoknya. Jadi enjoy sama game dan aku main gak sendirian, pasti di sini aku main juga sama teman-temanku dan enjoy sama live stream pada malam hari ini. Ya, aku harap kalian enjoy dan sorry banget kalau misalnya di gameplay kali ini aku nggak terlalu mungkin nggak ini ya, nggak terlalu baca live chat karena aku juga mainnya juga nggak sendiri gitu loh, mainnya aku sama teman-teman. Mungkin aku baca live chat kalau misalnya secara gameplay emang udah habis itu, tapi tetap nanti aku usahakan dibaca live chatnya. Oke, jadi jangan kalau misalnya ntar mikir bangnya sombong nih, nggak dibaca chatku, sorry guys, maaf banget karena diriku apa namanya kalau main game bareng teman aku jarang baca live chat, jadi mohon dimaklumi. Oke, langsung aja kita pindah ke gaming scene. Tapi sebelum itu kita absen dulu siapa aja yang udah ada di sini ya. Kita lihat pertama-tama ada jeduk official ya. Welcome to the stream. Gimana kabar kamu? Semoga baik-baik saja. Halo paman, aku datang. Thank you sudah datang. Halo Ahmad Raffi, welcome to the stream. Gimana kabar kamu? Semoga baik-baik saja. Hai Buyung ya tuh. Aduh. Arthur Samara, welcome ya. Selamat datang. Yang jadi game ya. Bang, bentuknya kok aneh bang. Waduh, belum mulai, kalian jangan mikir ambigu dulu. Oke, langsung aja kita pindah ke gaming scene dan kita langsung main di game-nya. Oke. Tes. Halo.
Hey.
Oke. Ntar gue taruh.
Cok, bentar cok.
Apa? Kenapa cok?
Lebihnya mana cok?
Sabar dulu.
Kecehan. Kece.
Namanya
Aku udah masuk
udah masuk. Ntar aku bikin ini
ke
dulu.
gamenya. Ini online multipan kan?
Iya.
Online multipan. Aku bikin room dulu cuy.
Kece.
Ya, seperti yang kalian lihat
Kalau
kita.
mancing dari tadi.
Aku opening dulu cok. Aku jadi host.
Sinyal gua kayak babi bang.
Mending tai anjing.
Aduh,
Gua kasih password ya.
Kena. Ngapain ribet.
GENITAL JOUSTING.
Pasarnya apaan kece?
Tar. Gue cari password yang ini aja deh.
Kontol aja udah, pasarnya kontol udah.
Bisa cowok tuh default anjing passwordnya ya. Langsung masuk. Cari Sakamoto Asura, passwordnya heartbeat 13.
Hardwick.
Iya, heartbeat.
Ini online multipan kan?
Iya, oleh multipan. Udah, langsung aja. Iya.
Terus caranya
Welcome
gimana,
baru
Bang?
datang guys. Kenapa?
Ini di hold up dulu ah.
Iya, di hold dulu. Nanti kamu masuk, terus nanti kamu yang join game.
Hardwick apa
hati.
Hardwick?
Heartbeat, hati besar, besar hati. Heartbeat 13.
Ini bisa ganti baju gak?
Bisa, ntar di ini nih. Ini welcome ya guys buat yang baru datang. Anjing.
Mana
Masuk.
nih? Bos.
Join game.
Oh, join game.
Iya. Aku ganti yang
Terus?
party mode aja. Terus
Kontrol
nanti
gua kaku,
join game nanti cari yang namaku Sakamoto Asura ada nggak?
Ribet anjing.
Semua game apa sih ini? Ada passwordnya heartbeat. Lama nggak live bang? Iya, sorry banget ya kalau lama nggak live ya karena emang udah mulai banyak kesibukan guys.
Sombong.
Oh,
Iya cowok.
kamu tuasu.
Passwordnya heartbeat. Hati besar hati.
Passwordnya yang mana bang?
Yang heartbeat, besar hati tuh, heartbeat 13. Bentuknya
Hati
ketahuan
besar,
banget anjir. Astaga. Sekalinya live yang gini, yoi dong, wajib.
Heart, heart.
Heartbeat 13.
Salah correct password mana ini?
Heartbeat kau tahu nggak? HEART BIG 13 jangan spasi. Anjing, palkonnya ada tindik ya Mas Sata. Lah, weh, diga anjing.
Oh, hitam hijau.
Hitam.
Gimana tuh?
Itu ganti dulu. Ganti di input required itu anjir. Tolong. Bang izin off gak tahan, aduh. Ada yang ireng coy, yoi coy, ada yang ireng. Dewa kasih ya.
Zona hitam.
Benar.
Lu kok diem aja sih kan?
Kagak,
Dia kayak mayat anjing di gua.
kagak anjing gerak-gerak dia.
Mana cok?
Udah masuk sini. Buruan.
Bentar, Cok.
Dia gak ada di gua anjing. Nah, gamenya rusak deh ya.
Ya, gimana rusak deh. Ini suruh ngapain nih tadi? Ini suruh ngapain sih?
Nggak tahu.
Suruh ngapain, Cok?
Ini
Ya. Fine dining.
Rehan mana cok?
Hah? Tahu Cok, ada Rehan anjing. Bersih dengan efeknya. Waduh.
Lah, gue hilang anjing.
Lah,
Nggak ada Rehan cok.
kok nggak gerak anjing kalian, Cok? The fuck, man. Aduh.
Gua nggak bisa gerak anjing.
Aduh.
Oh, ini baru bisa.
Iya, sama. Anjing.
Aduh.
Rehan mana cok? The fuck?
Ada anjing Rehan, Cok.
Nggak ada cok.
Ada anjing.
Pasti dah.
Rehan jadi setan anjing.
Kalian adu anus anjing.
Gue tahan. Lah gue diusir mulu ngapain anjing?
Adu anus anjing.
Lah enggak bisa gerak Cok, gue Cok.
Masa nggak gerak sih? Lah anjing. Gerak kok.
Gile anjing.
Awas No. Yes, gue menang.
Jadi putih Cok.
Ya Cok, anjing gue mati.
Mati.
Aduh, jadi titik geprek Cok.
Loh.
Emang lu nge-lag apa anjir? Lah Ren hilang anjing.
Mana cok?
Lah Ren mana Cok?
Dari tadi nggak ada cok. Ini gue startnya juga delay anjing.
Lah anjing titik gue kenapa? Oh belum mulai anjing. The fuck man. Ini emang delay begini anjing.
Mampus lu.
Anjing.
Cok.
No.
Cupu deh.
Lah Ren hilang anjing, Ren nge-lag ya?
Kita bakal
Iya,
overdose cok. Ya.
Yang kita bakal
Cuman siluhan.
versus obat ini anjing. Obat pembesar titik Cok.
Obat
Aduh Allah.
obat biru. Lu gak sesodorin pantat gue ke gue, pantat lu ke gue anjing. Lalu napet teleport anjing.
Lu kan yang lag.
Lu tuh anjing bajingan.
Lu anjing.
Lu
masih-
cowok. Tolol. Makan cok.
Udah anjing. Lah nge-lag
Main
anjing.
mampus tanjakan
fuck?
gue.
Rehan mana titiknya Rehan Cok? Titik ireng.
Gak tau.
Tidak ada titik ireng.
Emang titiknya.
Yang tadi disuntikan itu Cok.
Kamu sak di situ?
Iya.
Nah, anjing.
Jalan telur itu lah gua.
Keluar dulu.
Ah gimana sih lu?
Ya nggak jelas ya Rehan ya. Ternyata. Ya anjing titit anjing. Iya kenapa cok
Namanya
titireng cok.
oleh dulu.
Tok titit gue ada kulupnya aja masih ada kulupnya anjing. Maksud.
Ini cara pindah ke
Apa?
kok punya gue jadi oranye ya Bang.
Gak tahu gue.
Ini coklat.
Ayo buruan masuk GC. Gak usah pakai lama.
Duh. The fuck? Ini gimana sih? Main
Gimana
mana
apa ya?
dulu lah, ini aku ngulang masuk.
Aduh titit Jer, iya aduh titit coy. Mending kau restart wifi-han.
Mager.
Cih kontol.
Hmm.
Lama cok kalian cok. Fuck. Di Rehan nih.
Ya titiknya kuning.
Dia lagi ganti baju siapa? Anjing jadi hotdog.
Ini passwordnya apa bang?
Heartbeat 13
Minggir cok, gua mau ganti
Ini sama.
baju dulu aja.
sama. Cok titit gue kenapa ada kulupnya anjing? The fuck man?
Gak tahu.
Masih ada kulupnya anjing, masih ada kulitnya belum sunat titit gue anjing.
Oh punya gua berarti.
Titit gue belum sunat anjing. Anjing akhirnya sekarang punya Aran cok. Aran sekarang ireng.
Oh ini gua nih yang nyerang cok.
Iya cok.
Hmm.
Udah yuk gas.
Mesti
Ini yang
makan.
tradisional nih. Tradisional tuh yang
Sabar gua belum ganti skin cok.
ya anjing.
Tolong.
Masuk. Udah itu aja nggak apa cok.
Tadi ngapain?
Ini kalau nggak salah yang kita mesti masukin deh aja.
Oh. Mampus.
Muter-muter cok.
Anjing Aran nambah 2 cok.
Yang black.
Itu kenapa cok? Anjing.
Udah kecebukan lagi.
Anjing.
Ayo, ini kita aduh sering masukin anjing.
Gantian Rehan.
Aja terang cok.
Ih, kalian bisa masukin gitu anjing.
Bisa.
Iya dong.
Oh, kalian tambah lain.
Iya lah.
Aduh. Serius.
Sampai anjing.
Cok. Babi. Anjing, Rehan pujinya.
Rena topia lepas anjing. Saking keceknya cok. Masih nggak bisa ya sendirian.
Ah, what the fuck lu? Ini gue ngapa, cok?
Kenapa anjing? Ayo buruan dan.
Apa tuh hilang itu bisa aja.
Mampus lu, gue pejuin lo. Gue kerimpai.
Gue ngelek cok.
Gue belum sunat deh anjing, the fuck, baru sadar gue.
Gue yang belum sunat.
Titikku belum sunat anjing.
Titikku belum sunat, Cok.
Dia titikku ya, Cok.
Kok bisa gerak anjing? Ini suruh ngapain, Cok?
Baru bisa. Pelarian mana, Cok?
Anjing gue ngelek gila.
Ngelek cok. Main
Gila patah-patah gue.
gue
Aduh, tabrak titik gue anjing.
Penetration.
Aivan.
Aiwan, masukin Dan. Ya.
Gue menang, Cok.
Anjing. Nah ini bisa masukin diri sendiri nih.
Gue licin banget gue, Cok.
Iya Cok. Blood ya anjing, sumpah anjing.
Ih, Cok, bulat kontol ini.
Iya anjing. Ya jadi party.
Sabar, lagi mesen makan, sabar.
Ih jadi kecil lagi.
Iya. Anusku bisa.
Ya.
Ada baju tuh yang bikin peler gue jadi gede anjing. Mana ya?
Hotdog.
Bukan, untuk mah ngebikin titiknya jadi abnormal anjing. Nah ini. Liatin Yan. Liatin peler kuan. Peler gue jadi bengkak anjing.
Tahu cok.
Ini lubang boleh kalau saya deketin sama titik tuh jadi ini nutup. Anjing. Udah belum Ran? Semakan lama banget dah.
Sabar anjing. Ribet nih keluarga gue,
Sekarang
Cok.
belum sunat.
Aku yang belum aku juga belum sunat.
Aku masih 1 tahun, Bang.
Tutur sunat. Aduh. Aku belum sunat Kak. Gimana nih? Bisa nggak nih?
Bisa apaan?
Kalau belum sunat masih bisa nggak Kak? Mangku purel ya. Jawab di sini cita-citanya kalau belum sunat mangku purel guys.
Apa itu, Cok, aja?
Apa ya? Apa itu ya?
When I miss her. Ayo lanjut bang.
Udah belum Ran? Lama bedah.
Udah anjing, sabar tai babi. Emet.
Lama anjing. Udah yuk.
Sabar, gue ganti skin anjing.
Lah, kalian berdua hilang cok.
Loh,
Lu
kamu yang
yang
hilang
hilang.
anjir. Kamu yang hilang, Cok.
Nah. Ini gue ditindik.
Haji.
Percuma sunat tapi titik
Kamu
gua
jadi
ditindik.
titik yang nakal ya.
Iya, titik yang nakal gue, Cok.
Kalian
Dan ntar
berdua hilang cok.
juga ntar karatan, Cok.
Asu.
Ulang
Apa tuh kalau saya lihat-
ulang.
Masuk aja. Password tuh sama. Yang penyakitnya ya itu. Pejuit tetanus anjing.
Lucu tetanus emang bisa.
Anjing tetanus bangsat. Terpejulu tetanus loh.
Ini udah amat. Tidak peduli.
Anaknya besi. Wah, anaknya jadi orang Madura anjing besi bangsat.
Anjing. Oh iya, jual besi Madura ya.
Iya, orang Madura jual besi, Cok. Mana nih Ren nih,
Oh,
lama
gua-
nih.
Gue kebiasa warung Madura anjing.
Ya, orang oh iya sih, di sini jarang ada warung Madura, Cok. Yang 24 jam gitu jarang, Cok. Ada tuh agak jauhan tuh warung Madura.
Ya. Di
Jual
sini
besi.
warung Madura 2 itu anjing seberangan Cok.
Anjing.
Sebelahan. Kagak
Halo
depan-depan
Yona.
pasti, sebelahan.
Yona menonton ini. Tidak.
Kenapa deh?
Aduh, Yona masih bocil bang, jangan bang.
Lah gua
Alah lu
Gue yang
bocil
main
apaan,
ini,
tai? Gak ada bocil-bocil lo anjing. Tidak,
Oh,
Yona,
Cok.
Yona tidak boleh menonton ini seharusnya nih. Wah,
Wah nge-like.
nggak apa-apa ya, nggak apa-apa ya, ini edukasi untuk masa depan.
matamu edukasi anjing. Tidak,
Ntar
Yona.
dia gimana?
Hah?
Ntar dia kalau udah itu kan kagak ngerti gimana Cok.
Bapak Yona. Aduh,
Ini edukasi Yona.
nggak ada edukasinya anjing. The fuck man.
Gua nge-like anjing.
Atau lu
Udah gue bilang udah start wifi anjing. Lama anjing.
Gua takut ntar
Takut apaan?
malah nggak bisa nyala. Malah nggak ada internetnya ntar.
anjing.
Bisa, ada.
Ini gue dikincir di mana anjing Cok?
Apa?
Ya udahlah, gua restart dulu bentar.
Ya udah. Ayo Ran, kita main dulu berdua Ran, nemenin nunggu Ran.
Nah,
Main dulu berdua.
ya udah main.
Lu titit lu ngeserang sama titit gue kenapa dah anjing?
Sangnya aku bang.
Buru anjing. Udah. Ngicer wall bulu anjing. Buruan anjing.
Anjing mulai jadi bulat. Boleh mengecil Cok.
Iya, Jo.
Ini ngapain?
Yang ring.
Oh, petisannya. Lah kok di lu? Ini tuh di lu? Ah,
Gak tahu aja ngelek dah. Sumpah. Agak jelas kadang.
lah. Enggak adil Cok, enggak adil. Enggak, ini 2 buat gua.
Tuh nyangkut di gua satunya. Bangsat.
Ini dapat 2, gua mampus.
Di gua nyangkut anjing, tai bet. Masih get pang.
Ini yang ngejelas ya.
Oh iya.
Ngerti. Tuh,
Top.
anjing lu. Portbal.
Ini adu bola. Lo bola kira sendiri anjing tepat. Lo.
Licin banget anjing.
Boleh gerak sih.
Kok
Lo.
skor?
Boleh gerak sendiri sih anjing.
Ah, gerak gimana?
Gak tau coba gerak sendiri anjing.
Lu ngapain?
Gak tahu. Aduh.
Fokus deh berdua.
Tayeran anjing. Sodok gue dari belakang anjing. Kena bool gue.
Ini
Fuck
ngapain?
anything. Ini yang jangan
Oh.
ngefuck apa-apa itu.
Tunggu aja.
Gue bilang jangan anjing. Lu kagak mau ngejauh bangsat. Lu kagak ngejauh anjing.
Gue kira nggak bisa coba lagi gituan. Ini gimana?
Ini yang balapan. Aduh, sakit aja. Tuh, apa gue anjing? Tai. Pelan gue nyangkut anjing. Pelan gue nyangkut
Terus
anjing.
pizza ini aja.
Bangsat.
Biar kejang-kejang.
Pelan gue nyangkut anjing tai bet.
Biar gede sih.
Iya nih, kemudian pelan gue anjing.
Makanya titit yang digedein.
Asu. Kan? Ya kan masih restart wifi aja. Hodok dah. Space race. Mau jangan hodok. Tai aran.
Ngalingin lu kotor.
Ya.
Cok.
Ya. Ya. No. No, what the fuck? Ah, mampus.
Spade.
Spade apa? Just relax. Tadi suruh relax apa? Gimana ini? Semua ini yang ini gue gak tahu nih.
Ini Cok nggak jelas ini Cok.
Iya. Udah suruh diem aja kali.
Tolong Cok.
Dipencet itu anjing dipencet bangsat.
Pencet lah. Alah.
Ya, itu pencet lagi. Jadi plus anjing.
Ini dosis Cok.
Iya.
Tai lu.
Ya. Lepas anjing, the fuck man.
Cok.
Anjing.
Anjing susah. Anjing nempel di mu. Mampus lu.
Hah, nyangkut anjing, the fuck man. What the
Lah
fuck?
kok di munam?
Hah?
Panjangan gua anjing.
Lah di gua aja nge-lag anjing.
Game reset.
Nah ini Ren udah balik lagi nih.
Nih. Udah playing dia.
Ya.
Tolol lelet lu anjing.
Ya mati. Ya.
Kontol, bel.
Ya.
Ini ngapain?
Volleyball.
Kok kagak bisa gerak kayaknya. Oh, gue yang kuning. Stupid.
Lupa warna itu sendiri anjing. Tolol.
Gue biasanya yang pink kan anjing. Dapetnya. Ini bolanya apa anjing?
Boleh mana
Bolanya
lagi anjing?
penyangkut.
Bola yang mana, Cok?
Bolanya apa nyangkut anjing?
Hah, di gua enggak ada bolanya anjing.
Di gue nyangkut anjing. Tai. Menang gara-gara nge-lag lu. Ini bolanya apa ada 2?
1 di gue.
2 anjing tai. Kok tolol game apa sih? Nyangkut mulu bolanya.
Anjing. Perkara
babi,
titit
babi.
bangsat.
Babi.
Perkara titit anjing.
Gewe lu. Sini lu.
Perkara titit anjing.
Mati lagi aku ya bentar.
Ya Ren suruh narik kayak. Ren mana anjing Ren? Rennya nggak ada, bangsat. Ngejoin voice dia. Ini Ren nih. Anjing bahasa titit Cok, bangsat. Ada bahasa titit.
Halo,
Oi,
Udah belum? Mendingan kan?
udah.
gua udah masuk.
Cok, ada bahasa titit nih, liatin ya.
Ayo GC.
Bahasa titit nih.
Apa anjing?
Bahasa
Aduh.
titit anjing. Bahasa cat gitu anjing.
Oh. Ini ngapain?
Yang ring. Kan yang dapat sih anjing.
Anjir.
Gue yang laku lu dapet sih. Apa sih gue yang udah ngambil, kok lu yang dapet, babi.
Anjing.
Awas. Ren menang, Cok.
Ya, Ren menang.
Anjing gue menang kok lo sedih sih bangsat.
Ya, pertandingan
Iya.
anjing.
Iya. Lembut gue yang dapet.
Lah kagak bisa pakai WA.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Anjing. Dildo tuh in one anjing.
Ini ngapain? Oh, kaktus. Tolol anjing
Anjing nyangkut bang.
Kaktusnya jadi ke gua, tolol.
Aduh, gue nyangkut semuanya Mas. Kok gue nyangkut anjing. Banyak banget gue nyangkut anjing, Taiwan. Lu belich. Oh, ini yang balapan.
Oh ini.
Lah.
Ini.
Ah, Ren mana?
Anjing nge-lag bangsat.
Ya,
Nge-lag
Kok
lagi,
belum
anjing.
start? Ya ya.
Ren belum masuk, Ren.
Tolol lu Han.
Ya, anjing. Udah start, Ren.
Hujan lagi. Lah, kok gua tiba-tiba mental anjing? Ini gua di mana, Cok? Lah itu lu anjing.
Lu ya lu enggak guruan anjing.
Gua udah tahu. Gua bengong tadi. Gua ngeliatin stream lu anjing.
Lah anjing. Aduh,
Lah
nyangkut
Ren
gue.
mana? Very cool.
Tolol, game tolol. Ren tolol.
Wah, anjir gue mental cok.
Titi tolol anjing.
Gue hilang cok, mental cok.
Bacot lu. Han.
Surf up.
Udah balapan lagi, balapan surfing. Bangsat, gue nyangkut anjing. Tai. Anjing belum apa-apa anjing.
Dari Aran. Anjing.
Loh. Kok bisa ngeliatin batunya?
Pak mana ya dua-duanya. Gua mati yang di awal, bangsat.
Cupu deh.
Gue juara dulu.
Oh.
Tolol.
Wih, gue itu titiknya lupa aja.
Gue cuma lagi deh.
Ntar cok. Gue pakai ini aja lucu kali.
Ini gue ganti skin dulu, Cok.
Sama.
Lu salah satu
gantian
keluar.
gitu
Keren keluar. Nah. Udah lu kena skin lagi, kena skin dulu.
Tindiknya gangguan nih.
Udah kamu apa lubang bolku tuh tertutup anjing sini.
Aduh, betul ke bawah, Cok.
Udah belum.
Belum. An. Babi anjing. Nah, yang ini nih kagak ada tindik.
Deh. Ayo
Ya.
masuk.
Ayo. Kok gue jadi polisi? Ini ngapain? Ini ngapain, Cok?
Ya udah ini yang tradisional.
Oh, panjang kontol. Anjing beneran panjang
Eh
banget.
lu lah banyak anjing. Curang, Cok. Ren kecit anjing.
Oh, emang Cok. Jangan gitu lah.
Ren nambah langsung 6 lu anjing tadi, Cok. Bangsat. Taiwan anjing. Kok bisa? Gue sakit, Bang. Tolong lah, tolong.
Sini anjing pantat lu.
Ya.
Tai, Cok, kalau merehan tuh tolol, game
Ya,
tolol
Ren di awal udah 6 duluan anjing.
Ingetin anjing.
Ngecit anjing.
Kontol luhan. Lah,
Pantat tuh
Kok yang
kasihin
dapet
Aran
sih?
cok. Pantat tuh kasihin Aran.
percuma anjing lo yang menang, tai babi. Kontol. Titit kontol anjing.
Ya tidak kontol lah anjing apalagi bangsat.
Titit memek anjing. Kok gue kagak bisa masuk sih? Kelainan
lemes
cok.
anjing.
Kelainan tuh anjing gue ganti skin dah.
Lagi
Gua
lo
ganti
udah selesai.
skin.
Unlock
Ini
skin
gila
Nun, anjing.
Nun.
Pris itu apa sih?
Chris Bapak.
Iya bapak.
What the fuck?
Nah, gue di sini biar
Pris
arah
bapak,
keluar,
Cok.
Cok.
Ya ayo mana anjing. Gue udah ganti skin goblok.
Ayo. Ini masih tradisional mau tinggal nggak salah.
Penetration.
Anjing.
Nah, sabar Jo. Eh,
Ya.
Ya.
ayo masuk.
Aduh,
Gua kesuntik.
masuk, nggak masuk.
Gua kesuntik anjing. Anjing. Gua kesuntik anjing. Gua kesuntik anjing.
Apa ini?
Oh, parah bet. Gitu mainnya.
Astagfirullah, astagfirullah.
Terat.
Kalau salah bisa sendiri nih di sini.
Ran, pantas lu buat sini, Ran.
Jangan biarkan dia menang.
Tidak. Ih, nambahnya 4 anjing. Ih, curang.
Aduh, aduh. Aduh, anjing. Gua lengkok.
Gue nyangkut, Cok. Gue nyangkut, Cok.
Gak menang.
Gak mau masuk sih. Dia yang menang anjir.
Gue yang masukin duluan anjing.
Sini pantas lu.
Malu dah.
Sendiri aja sumpah.
Gue apa yang terakhir anak pains. Anjing. Berurat
Gila
cok
tuh,
kontrol
sampai
gue.
atas tuh terakhir belum nyampe tuh. Gua bisa face tuh yang terakhir apaan tuh?
Ganti mode dong, Bang. Ganti mode.
Gue pengen
Party.
pengen.
Gue pakai ini aja tetap. Pantat lu kedutan, Cok.
Gue mau ganti ini.
Buka tutup gitu anjing. Anjir. Aduh, nggak muat, Cok. Ini ada kecil.
Belum. Lama anjing.
Udah.
Skin uratnya mana cok? Ting di kencing tolong. Udah biarin gini baik.
Polos aja masuk anjing salah satu.
Ayo anjing.
Don't fuck anything.
Jadi pokoknya nggak boleh anu. Jadi jangan.
Tolong anjing.
Jadi bilang jangan anjing terus mati.
Lah suruh belum mati anjing. Itu lu bang. Di pantat ada sapu anjing.
Nggak ada cok sumpah di gua nggak ada.
Ada cok.
Iya, Cok, di pantat lu ada sapunya, anjing.
Apa?
Penetrate.
Ini
Ini bertenaga kentut.
Anjir.
anjing. Aduh,
Nabrak.
aduh.
Nabrak planet, Cok.
Iya cok.
Ran, pantat lu ngalangin gue, Ran.
Gue mental cok.
Aduh, 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 aduh.
Gue masuk. Iya.
Kuat aja. Ada tai.
Alasan gue lahir.
Untuk apa alasan mau lahir?
Ya itu cok. Masuk dulu ini ngapain? Hah? Ini ngapain cok?
Bisa masukin diri sendiri tuh. Sendiri bisa sendiri. Sendiri bisa.
Ini ngapain anjing? Cok apa? Bagus.
Oh, ternyata suruh-suruh itu masukin sendiri.
Basek. Fuck and be fuck.
Oh ini baru nih yang nambah panjang nih.
Udah sender anjing.
Lah, si Ashura nggak dapat poin, Cok.
Dapat.
Gue doang yang dapet anjing. Gila. Besar.
Itu caranya gimana sih caranya?
Ini kagak tahu. Udah kedampingnya baik.
Nyaran menang. Sini pantat lu, Ran.
BBC. Anjing lu, guys.
Anjir cok hampir mencapai atas gue cok.
Sama cok.
Lagi yuk.
Ya, nanggung nih.
Bentar.
Lama.
Ya.
Ya. Dia disuntik. Nggak pernah menang ini gue cok.
Dah.
Ya,
Ya,
mati.
didorong apa Aran anjing? Tai. Ih, Aran kesuntik gak mati anjing. The fuck? Aran kesuntik gak mati anjing. Tai banget.
Ini mode paling susah sih menurutku.
Iya.
Iya. Ini paling gak jelas anjing.
Iya ini bang jelas.
Relax.
Relax aja tuh. Skor masing-masing.
Han itu pencet tombolnya dah.
Lu sana. Di dalam.
Ada anjing.
Sini.
Lights out. Final
It's on the
the Nah, siapa tuh yang masuk?
Siapa tuh?
Wih, di gua aja.
Anjing gua
Di anjing.
Gua pakai insting titik gua buat mencari pantat arah.
double jelek gitu. Oh yang ini.
Lo. Gua dapet juga itu harusnya.
Gak ada.
Ini apa ya?
Yang ring.
Oh, fetis.
Fetis ring.
Kok masuk? Mampus, gue menang. Gue menang.
Lah,
Tai.
Kasihin Rian, Cok.
kok lu juara 3 terus sih, Bud?
Malas menang. Malas menang. Alibi
Anjay,
gua.
malas menang.
Apa nih atasnya nih? Master anjir.
Apa ya itu?
Enough milk to fill the tank. Gue sudah ini ya apa namanya?
Bentar tuh, jangan main dulu tuh. Gua mau ganti dulu.
Udah ganti.
Lu ngapain Han?
mencium pantat lu.
Mantap.
Ini apa nih?
Ini tradisional ya. Oh my god.
Pantat lu kayak sini Ran.
Oh my god. Apa tuh kan?
Oh iya tradisional aja.
Tradisional ya kelas. Ini tradisional ya. Oh my god. Apa tuh kan?
Pantat lu mbak sini cok. Gua mau masuk.
Aku di pohon anjing.
Lah kok gue
Koran
nemu
mulu ya dapetnya anjing.
Iya dong. What the fuck?
Apa tuh kan? Halo masuk, halo nih Tommy, welcome to the stream. Gimana kabar kemarin? Semoga baik-baik saja, enjoy the stream ya. Kamu dapet poinnya anjing.
Iya dong.
Ngecit anjing, ngecit. Penjairan kenapa ya tuh? Gue gak dapet poinnya aja, tau hell man. Game cacat anjing.
Dapat cerita plus 1.
Gue nyangkut anjing.
Ada.
Salah gue sini lo. Ini game bagus, ini game lucu ini.
Iya lucu.
Game lucu ini, gue salah.
Ini lo. Betul.
Lah, masuk dua tuh.
Masuk 2. Coba menang cow.
Aduh ini.
Ini pantat lu Ran.
Tolol. Oke. Iya ada game mama dapat mama.
Cocok vendor. Ten line. Lighthouse. Apa mas? Udah. Aku pakai baju andalanku.
Baju apa tuh bang?
Ini nggak tahu nih baju apa. Baju itu. Terus pak lihat pasti tangkap.
Ruan ngecek emang lagi. Oh, kita panjang. Ya, jadi ini pilnya buat manjang-manjangin Cok.
Overdas.
Ya Allah.
Ya elah.
Ini gue cuma ngedrift doang Cok, bangsat.
Lu nama teleport anjing.
Anjing Pujaran di gue cacat anjing semua.
Di gua malah lu anjing.
Anjing.
Iya gue menang.
Ntar lihat ini deh stream gue anjing sumpah. Tadi cacat anjing.
Race to the end.
Ada.
Anjing nyangkut.
Stupid.
Nyangkut. Yes, gue menang. Orang juga menang juga.
Hitam.
Yoi. Hitam harus menang.
Gua dong menang.
Ini ngapain sih?
Oh, mencet yang paling cepet anjing.
Hah?
Yang paling cepet mencet yang menang.
Oh, mencet apaan anjing?
Mencet ini keyboardnya. Misalnya mencet atas udah mencet atas aja itu yang paling cepet.
Oh. Tai.
Cepet-cepetan mencetnya tapi.
Ini apa?
Udah ini wrestling.
Tinggal Alaska.
Wrestling. Doh, jangan tidak aku bang, tidak.
BBC for the win.
Don't fuck anything. Oke.
Tuhan.
Tuh, gak usah
Dengerin
deket-deket.
Tuhan.
Gak usah deket-deket aja. Gak usah deket-deket aja.
Ih,
Aaron bodoh.
Ini harus masukin cincin ke
Ran, kontol lagi.
Lu deket-deket si anjing, deket-deket gua.
Enggak enggak ya. Om tuh lo menang.
gua kalah.
Gara-gara lu Han.
Iya, anjing.
Coba itu kalau gue menang. Menang gue.
Cet. Ya Allah, ya Allah.
Gece.
Oh, bisa ada game ginian ya?
Kayak tahu. Bagus ya ada game ginian.
Iya sih. Bagus anjing.
Imajinasi kita bisa
Nggak ada imajinasi kita bisa di apa, Cok.
itu seru itu realisasikan.
Gua samaran, Cok.
Yakin deh.
Siapa tuh?
Iya anjing.
Anjing.
Just relax.
Udah relax aja, Cok.
Kan pencetahan.
Latihan di kolam dong, gua pencetin buat
Tuh, aku di kolam tuh.
Ya minggir lu orang anjing.
Lu minggir pencet.
Ya udah lu yang pencet, dia masuk.
Lu mencet yang bener apa sih? Agak jelas lu mencetnya anjing.
Ada sini.
Dan lu
Bener.
Ah,
Oh. Ini apa ini?
Ini yang
Itu kah?
itu tuh setahu bisa yang sama sendiri sama sendiri anjing, bisa anuin sendiri, Cok.
Nih, gua belum menang nih di mode ini.
Apaan tadi menang?
Oh iya lupa. Tuh kan tolol babi ini. Anjing gua nawa. Keren tolol lah anjing. Kan
aku nggak pernah menang nih pada itu, Cok.
bacot
Oh, gue yang cacat anjir.
kan.
Diem lu anjing, jangan gerak-gerak, Cok.
Kan tolol lah.
Rian ketusuk tapi gak mati anjir. Rian ketusuk tapi gak mati, Cok. Curang anjir, curang. Rian ketusuk tapi gak mati anjir.
Mati, Cok.
Tadi anjing ada yang ketusuk
Gila
tapi gak
banget
mati.
anjing matinya.
Itu cuma nyerempet doang, Cok, kayak thread gitu.
Allah.
Let's go.
Aduh, ada di gue ini. Apa?
Putus live.
Aduh. Kok gue gak dapet?
Nggak boleh. Nggak boleh. Ya. Apa ini? Ini tadi ngapain? Udah lah, ya baik.
Ya,
Oh.
nggak ada.
Ya, kasih lihat.
Ya, mau anu sendiri gak bisa.
Anjing malah kenanya Aran sampai. Kan pinggir apa sih, Ran?
Skill itu. Asra ngewe.
Oh.
Anjing. Gua sama Aran gimana?
Asra ngewe diri sendiri anjing. Wah, nyangkut.
Gue nyangkut.
Aduh.
Apa? Udah di gua ini.
Ini ya, dan.
Rantai banget ya, sumpah.
Gue menang. Ya.
Banget.
Bentar nutup atap dulu.
Ya Allah, ya Allah. Itu ada story-nya ya. Ada yang mode part apa namanya mode deathmatch ya. Cuma sayangnya 2 orang doang cok saya.
Gue udah pernah main story-nya tuh.
Udah.
Udah.
Iya.
Itu namanya si Joni.
Joni.
Nah ntar kita nggak punya pasang. Ya ntar kita suruh nyari pasangan gitu.
Yang story-nya.
Iya.
Story.
Belum pernah sih yang story-nya sih anjir. Ya apa mau ngeliatin story-nya? Ini siapa
Ini
anjing
dia
masuk?
siapa?
Halo kamu. Maksudnya saya tidak tahu. Ini pantat.
Siapa?
Pantatnya zoom dulu nih.
Atau yo main story, gue yang main kalian nonton.
Jadi sekalian ini makanan gue mau sampai ini.
Ayo kita main dulu.
Main sekali yuk.
Ayo.
Sekali ntar kita liatin story ya. Ada story yang mote guys ini guys.
Kontrol gadget gue.
Space race ini tai sih.
Iya.
Lah.
Paling tai. Sampai gak ada lo kan.
Kan lu
Anjing tolol lu, tolol. Cok timun anjing. Bisa lu lagi.
finally.
Udah cacat aja gue dihalangin aja. Tai bet tren.
Ini game kompetitif pak.
Nah ini yang ini harus cepet nih cepet nih.
Punya tai cok.
Coba.
Siapa tuh?
Oh, gue dapet. Yoi.
Oh, kita berdua. Gue sama Alan.
Kita semua dapet.
Entah kenapa gue
Di gue hitung terus anjing.
Lagi.
Sini dulu Wan. Masuk atau terewe.
Aduh.
Masuk atau terewe.
Cacat anjing. Ya Allah, nih. Ini gue bentar mulu anjing. Cacat.
Ini aja gitu apa?
lu jangan dimasukin lah Budi.
Hah? Bukan gue anjing.
Cupu deh.
Oh harus dimasukin ke punya kita bang.
Iyalah. Ya kita dapet. Cacat. Lu kan warna pink, kita warna pink anjing.
Udah bentar ngambil makan cok.
Ya udah. Udah relax aja, relax.
Nggak mau bang.
Cacat itu orang lain cok. Musuh itu kan.
Ye, gue menang. Kalau main story nggak apa-apa. Kalau lu mau main story.
Sorry, tar gue ini, gue share screen. Saya gak ada settingan grafik sih buat kecilin anjing.
Dah.
Oke. Confident, first time, anxious apa nih?
Cepat.
Tet. Confident, first time-nya kali ya?
Aku first time sih makanya.
First time, lebih enteng kali ya. Main story mode, let's go. Continue. Kemarin sebenarnya udah sempat mainin, cuman kayak ngulang lagi sih.
Nah, itu namanya Juni. Kiri sama kanan dulu. Subtitlenya lu onin nggak sih?
Apa ya?
Subtitlenya lu onin nggak?
On kok.
Enak di apple, ada tree. Dimakan tuh. Kenapa tuh? Masuk ke kotak masuk.
Kalau masalah sekali pakai buang CH welcome. Udah lu masuk kan? Nah.
Baru nggak usah main ayunan nggak apa-apa kok.
Biar kayak orang sendiri. No one will ever love you. Yes. Kok di kepala ada suara Reza Arab ya enggak? Beli nih gue nih.
Iya, ntar jadi panjang semua aja.
Iya, Cok. Beli bang, jangan beli aku bang.
Coba pencet enter.
Mimpin. Dikit aja coba.
John woke to the shrill cry of his alarm clock and lay there, rigid, his usual morning condition. But there was another reason John couldn't get out of bed. It was the weight. A weight that had nothing to do with his muscles or fat or sweaty blankets. John was weighed down by a piece of paper. The invitation to his high school reunion. From across the years, the words he'd heard in the schoolyard were still clear. You're a loser. No one will ever love you.
3 months until reunion.
Ntar iya. Makanya lo suruh cari pasangan biar pas reunian tuh nggak menyedihkan gitu.
John needed to shower and wash off the sweaty stink of desperate sadness.
Mandi dulu, itu dinyalain toh keran itu.
Bisa nyalain.
Ambil sabun. Soap itu soap.
Nyangkut mulu. Nah.
Terus ganti ke pantat. Tuh, ambil tuh. Catnya diambil.
Brustit. Udah.
Ganti baju.
Terus keluar.
John had 3 months until the reunion to turn his life around. First, he needed to clean up. John called it his study, but it was basically for games and porn. Mostly porn.
Kiri dulu. Kiri. Ya, lurus. Nah itu piringnya pecah-pecahin aja.
Piringnya pecah-pecahin?
Iya. Itu yang kotor.
Oh, kotor.
Iya.
Gimana dah?
Dia udah pegang. Tepuin aja. Dua-duanya.
Masuk oven.
John's head was on fire. He seemed surprised. He shouldn't have been.
Clean dishes, take care of leftover ya, Bang?
Nggak tahu aku kalau itu. Udah aku ancur-ancurin semuanya
Oh,
dulu.
ini gue tahu nih. Oh, salah.
Nggak tahu banget lo anjing.
Salah.
Udah lu kayaknya suruh makan ya. Makan.
The only reason he'd ordered so much takeout was because Delilah, the delivery peen, made John feel butterflies in his testicles.
Roti. Coba anjing. Bro, masuklah bro. Bisa lah.
Baik.
Yo. Oh, masuk sih.
Aduh.
Suruh keluar.
John had left his apartment late, but if he caught the express bus, he might make it to work on time. John didn't really like his job, but it had two qualities in its favor. One, he could pay his rent, and two, Barbara. Currently John's top candidate for his reunion date. John noticed a moderately attractive peen waiting at the stop. He was tempted to talk to her.
Coba deketin.
He tried to start a conversation and did not get the reaction he'd hoped for. It was probably because he was a minimum wage peen. She could probably sense it. The office hummed with cold fluorescent lighting. The air was cold and stale, lifeless. How long had John worked here? Long enough to deserve better.
Kiri.
Ini.
Ikutin jalan aja. Ikutin jalan aja.
Minggir lu, tai.
Lu yang mundur anjing.
John was late, but he felt daring. He could sneak into the office through the archives, or he could stroll through the front entrance with enough confidence to bluff his boss. Predictably, he chose the direct route. John was nearly trampled by the morning coffee rush.
What the fuck is this?
Everyone else was hard at work, grinding away. John might actually get away with this.
Iya.
The boss. He homed in on John, deluging him with spit and buzzwords. The boss ran out of synonyms for John's failings and gave him an ultimatum. Barbara would definitely not be interested in dating John if he was unemployed. He had to get to the quality assurance department.
Suruh ngapain?
Lupa kan. Oh itu suruh pencet. Ntar lu suruh nyobain satu-satu.
There might be a faulty dildo just waiting to cost the company millions in lawsuits. John would have to test them all. Every atom of John's rectum began to vibrate with the frequencies of pure pleasure. His orifice was a paradise. This vibrator would end all wars. It was good.
Ada laki-laki.
50 kali.
Iya.
Apa aja? Masuk.
That one was good too.
Masuk.
The Prostate Pounder X900 series, the most advanced vibrator on the market. Sweet mother of no, John, that's too much pleasure for one anus to handle.
Aji, terlalu brutal tuh. Langsung kok.
Kenangan udah tuh.
Anjing.
Nah, ntar itu jadi semuanya tuber.
Anjir. Game apa nih aja nih game. Game keren ini ya. Ayano ya. Ini game keren nih guys.
Dari rusuh semuanya rusuh.
Rusuhin. Wah, anjir. Meledak.
John's butt hurt, but his heart was proud. If that vibe had gotten out into the world, it could have injured a customer as badly as it had ravaged his anus.
Anjir.
Terus itu yang di atas lemarinya tuh jatuhin.
The boss arrived and congratulated John on taking one for the team and jumping on the hand grenade, or in this case, putting it up his butt. John was having trouble following the conversation because he was quite high on suppository painkillers. And then the boss said it. Promotion. Finally, the company was recognizing John's hard work and ignoring his minor faults like lack of talent, constant lateness, and flatulence.
Yeah, si John dapat promosi.
John's new office smelled like polished wood and success. John's success.
Make the space your own. Ini suruh ngapain?
Sam dropped by. He'd heard John had been hurt. John said he was fine. He wasn't a softie to complain about a mildly ruptured rectum. Besides, he had a promotion to celebrate. John had met Sam in college during a sports ball game. He'd given him some stiff competition.
Kasih lah kesempatan bang, menang bang. Masukin bolanya, bodoh. Cacat. Minggir, anjir. Nyangkut bola ya.
Gua sih pakai pantat ya pasti ya.
Fuck up. Apa ini? Game bagus Den, ini Den. Susah dah ini. Mau masuk. Ah, masuk apa sih? Cacat. Susah banget aja. Cacatnya.
They'd started at Flesh Corp product testing together. Nothing builds a friendship like a long day of dildo mounting. Yes, John had known Sam for a while. But John couldn't hang out with Sam. He had a reunion to prepare for. He was going out with Barbara tonight. He just had to ask her. Everyone was quiet, listening to the presentation. A good moment for John to ask Barbara out. Barbara agreed. Well, she nodded. Sort of. Things were really going John's way. John tried to act as suave as possible and listen to Barbara talk business. He didn't want to blow his chances at long-term love and short-term sex. Barbara began to talk about monthly feedback figures, and John started to zone out, imagining him and Barbara at the reunion, a power couple. She would make his classmates sick with envy. If he could get her to tone down the boring chatter. John's balls were gripped by certainty. Barbara was the perfect date for the reunion.
Show off your skill behind the bar.
John thought he would impress Barbara by going behind the bar and showing the bartender a thing or two.
Saya dipecahin, Dok.
Terus disuruh ngapain?
Ntar tuh lo suruh nganterin burger pulang.
Despite Barbara's protests that it was unnecessary, John knew that a true gentleman should follow her home. He was excited. There was still 3 months until the reunion, and he'd already landed his perfect date. All he had to do was seal the deal. Barbara thanked John for the evening and politely did not invite him inside for coffee or sex, even though John had dropped some pretty obvious hints he'd be into both, or just the sex. The door slammed on John's hopes. He didn't understand. He'd laughed at all Barbara's pie chart jokes. He'd listened to her boring stories. The blank eyes of the lawn flamingos were witnesses to John's shame.
Itu cacingnya dimakan dulu. Pulang ke rumah. Ya udah, terus aja. Belanja persis kok kayaknya.
John began the lonely walk home, thoughts tumbling like shoes in a dryer. He had done everything wrong. Barbara had led him on just to humiliate him. John felt empty. How could he get love? He felt like he was missing something, some key to attracting sex. But John was shooting blanks. What did Peens want? Then it hit John out of nowhere. Stuff. He had the success. He just needed to show it off. But where was John going to get all the stuff he wanted? John needed a sign.
Loads.
A new day, a new John. He waited outside his local buttload store for it to open, eager to spend his promotion bonus on stuff. The best way to impress women. There's nothing like a rectum full of money to make a peen feel like a man.
Suruh ngapain?
Udah masuk.
Nyangkut bangsat.
Dari pantat. Bisa.
Gimana, Cok?
Digoyang-goyangin dikit lah. Pokoknya aku masuknya dari pantat pas. Kalau itu nyangkut terus pas. Kenapa lu nggak lewat sebelahnya Cok?
Emang bisa ya?
Nggak tahu, cobain aja. Enggak, maksudnya sebelah pintu putarnya itu.
Ini. Gak bisa.
Ya,
Bisa. Susahnya mana? Nggak bisa pantatnya masuk. Gedean.
Nah itu pas. Nah itu tuh langsung set. Ini angin dulu, yuk pelan-pelan.
Susah banget sih masuknya ini.
Biji lu kegedean, Cok.
Makanya. Masih nggak bisa anjing. What the hell?
Asal biji lo bisa mati duluan sih, pasti bisa masuk Cok.
Bisa gini nggak? Ya, masukin aku bang. Tuh, nggak bisa masuknya ini.
Bisa Cok.
Ah fuck, gemes gue liat teh.
Suddenly it occurred to John that he was going to make a lot of choices. And every one of those choices would tell the world who he was. Did he want cheese or sausage? Delicious.
Ini di meja.
Also delicious. How could John decide? Just so Moorish.
Nah tuh lo suruh milih.
What would a date think when they sat in John's home?
Hah?
Comfort or style?
Kenapa?
Style atau kenyamanan anjing.
Oh.
Itu tarik. Kalau harganya ditarik.
Ini tarik.
John went with comfort. Plus, it matched the couch he already had. John weighed up all the differences, but this was a tough choice.
Sama aja.
John chose the extremely, obviously bad TV.
Lo bilang kanan.
Sambet dah.
John realized that it was only 2 months and 29 days until the reunion. Time flies. Cactus or rose? Was John a rugged hero or a romantic poet? If John grew his own flowers, then he'd save on romantic gestures in the long run.
Gua pilih yang kanan tuh. Kanan lo.
Dulu.
There was nothing John could take with him to the grave. Except his coffin. Death is inevitable. Style is not. John liked to get his pizza delivered. That way he could see Delilah, the delivery peen. She always made him smile.
Pizza pineapple free atau free pineapple?
Anjing, no pineapple ya.
Price barnya yang kamu tarik.
Oh.
John knew that Delilah thought pineapple on pizza was an abomination. What bedding would Delilah prefer? John couldn't help wondering. Regular sheets, just like the regular pizzas he regularly ordered.
Shit.
Devoid of any sense of style, buying new clothes would be John's toughest challenge. Very spunk rock. A nice fit, but could John pull off the color? John decided to go with the outfit. Music, the food of love. Should John go retro sophisticated or just retro? John's personal nostalgia was more important than sound quality. Every can was made of metal, pulled from the bones of the earth, wrestled to the surface and smelted in roaring furnaces. All so John could buy peas preserved in salty water and stick them up his butt. John's new purchases were on the way to his apartment. All he had to do was invite a date over. One look at all his stuff and they'd be overwhelmed with sexual desire. John felt proud and also hungry. It gave him an idea. He should invite Delilah over for dinner. John was excited. Delilah was on her way. He just needed to set the mood to romance.
Set musik terus. Anjing, Farid main Apex, Cuk.
Hah?
Farid main Apex. Ntar musiknya gimana anjing?
Yang masuk
Lu dibuka dulu, jangan langsung ambil tabnya.
Gitu. Terus ngidupin lilin gimana?
Ambil korek, pakai pantat lu. Pantat tuh, pakai pantat. Nah tuh. Lu jadi ketinggal lilin.
Busut.
Scatter terus.
John hoped she didn't have allergies. That must be Delilah at the door.
Bang, sabar bang.
The door opened and there was Delilah. John gulped down his nerves and invited her in. John could tell that Delilah was impressed by his stuff. It was time to crank up the mood to seduction. John wanted to offer Delilah wine, but he'd already popped his cork.
Gimana caranya anjing?
Delilah started looking as nervous as John felt. He assumed it was because she was shy too. They really were compatible. Of course, at the reunion, he couldn't mention Delilah was a delivery peen. That would be
Delilah
embarrassing.
tuh. Loh,
Delilah suddenly headed for the door. And just like that, John was
Cacat
alone
Delilah.
again. Delilah hadn't even looked at his stuff. The rejection burned. John felt insignificant. He had everything he wanted. The job, the money, the stuff. So much stuff. He wanted to destroy all of it. Shove it into the abyss. His stuff didn't matter. Die, couch! He was a shaft in the machine. A lonely piston pumping away like all the others in his rigid place. Your dead technology
bos.
tapes.
Gimana tuh caranya?
Nothing
Yeah,
special about him.
Hancurin semuanya.
Why should Delilah or Barbara or any other peen be interested in dating him? He was just like everyone else and they could tell.
John never liked plants anyway. Begone, boxes!
John wanted to be special, but he had to face the numb truth. He wasn't. And all the money and stuff he'd ever accumulate wouldn't change that. He thought it would make him unique, but it just made him more like everyone else.
Fuck off, inanimate objects.
He should leave it all. Get out of this little town and go on an adventure.
Take that, TV.
See the world. He was a boring corporate drone, but he didn't have to be. He could be a traveller, exploring jungles and climbing mountains.
Fuck you, fridge.
He could visit the wonders of the world and get his picture taken. Like Peony Island, the unspoiled paradise he'd seen on TV. That was it. John had to travel. Bags packed, John was ready to put 5,000 miles between him and his problems. He was leaving it all behind.
Loh. Masuk emang nih.
Iya.
John was so close. He could almost smell the freedom of the skies.
Kenapa nih?
Bentar.
Security sent John back through the detector.
Gimana cara empty pocket?
Keluar dulu keluar. Nah. Gantikan.
John had forgotten he had his nail clippers with him. He'd have to buy another pair soon, or he'd look ridiculous.
Ya.
When the acceleration of takeoff had slackened, John felt a sweet relief. He had left his worries on the runway. He was up in the clouds on his way to adventure. John's adventure had begun at last, and clearly it was a small world after all, and also a flat one. That was going to piss off the globeheads.
Semua curi terus makin. Kayak yang salah tuh kayak apa sih yang tuh atas.
Ini hancurin.
Nah. Itu makin ke pantat tuh lanjut.
What the fuck? Money berkurang.
Tembok.
Mau masuk
Dan pergi ke yang lain aja. Nah. terus sensori terus masukin lagi gitu aja terus.
Try putting this in your butt, what the fuck man.
Ada duitnya ambil, Cok.
Coba lu ke Jepang tuh. Penasaran. Jepang kanan, Jepang kanan. Bawah.
Ini Jepang. Ini Jepang ya. Konnichiwa is better more tentacle to be honest with you.
Indonesia ada nggak? Itu Indonesia.
John was having fun, but something told him he needed to go home. Probably his empty bank account.
What the hell?
John was on his way back home. He was out of money, but money can't buy love. What it can buy are the experiences that had made John a more interesting and developed person, with 100 Buttstagram photos to prove it. Finally, everything was going smoothly.
Enjoy your stay.
John felt good to be
Bang.
back on the familiar ground of home, but he would feel better to be on the familiar mattress of home.
Collect.
Ambil apa kopernya? Yang duduk. Oke, nggak usah dua kopernya nggak apa tuh.
Despite John's swell of fresh optimism, traveling was exhausting, and he just really wanted to get home and get some sleep.
Bahasa titik. Okay, you are going back to home. Go to left. And
Go to
go to right. Ini mimpi lagi ya.
Enggak.
Yes.
Ini flashback masa kecil. Lokernya dulu.
Take the love letter to her unlock. Hah?
Over locker. Kiri. Nah,
Yang mana?
lurus aja terus. Terus. Nah, itu.
Udah tuh.
Buka dulu. Bisa nggak?
Wih anjing. Buset. Gede lagi.
Another nightmare. John's stress about getting a date for the reunion was making him
Sampai
think of
mimisan
her.
gitu ini.
Harmony. He hadn't seen her in years. Would she be at the reunion? John shook off the thought. He wasn't a
hell, man?
child. He was a fully grown penis.
6 weeks until reunion. Ya, dia habis membahas aspirasi. Udah ngompol ya, what the hell?
John, why is the bathroom barricaded? For skin's sake!
bebek.
Is that a swan? John had no idea how it had gotten into his home or why it hated him so much. It would probably be best to leave it alone.
Lo suruh keluar tuh. Leave it alone.
John's butt started to buzz. Had he left a vibrator up there? Whatever it was, he should get it out.
Mana teleponnya nih?
Itu teleponnya itu. Bener, Cok.
John's old phone. They really were indestructible. It was Sam calling.
Ngecert dari HP cowok, the hell man. Ngecert dari HP.
Agak lain.
He wanted to check in on John. The travel looked fun, but it was so sudden. Was John okay? Sam was such a softie, always worrying about feelings. John had only one feeling, and it was the feeling of being awesome. He could drop Sam a text, but John was on a mission. The reunion was getting closer, and he had to get a date. Fortunately, John knew exactly where to find love.
Find love.
John held his breath. He was about to meet his match. He had to reassure himself he could do this. He had a good job. He had nice stuff. He had traveled. He was ready to find love. On Rena, where all his sexy travel photos would give him the pick of the pack.
Kalau lu nggak suka kiri, kalau suka kanan.
Too skinny.
Dan
Tai.
Too short. Too much foreskin.
Coba.
Not enough foreskin.
Extra salam. Jarang mau.
Glasses.
Longer and uncut.
Bangs. Nope. Hot. Sexy. What a loser.
1 hour later. Sama.
kurang nggak?
Show me.
Yep, the pick of the pack. Yes! John had the pick of the pack.
You and Amanda like each other, anjay. Amanda, I'm very dirty man if you know what I mean, yeah.
John
Fuck.
valued honesty in a date,
What
but
the
he had been expecting a
fuck?
different kind of dirty. A sexy and much more
Mandi,
hygienic
anjing.
kind.
Anjing, ya dimasukin freezer, cok. Just an queen looking for you.
John thought that getting circumcised once was enough.
Itu. Nah,
Oh, better put that on ice. It'll be okay, John. Chicks dig scars.
Bang,
I hope.
bangku ada bolnya, tau bang. Lucy, I love pain with a sense of humor. Anjing.
After the reattachment surgery, the doctors had told John to rest. So he did, for 6 hours.
Fantasy. Sorry bang, punya orang bang.
John was in stitches.
Anjing diangkat. Single mom does anyone? Anjing single mom, janda anjing. Rusuh ya cok. Ini boh.
Karen had invited John straight over. She was not fooling around. Very exciting. And now she wanted him round the back. Karen let John know that the cake was only for the kids. So was the candy and the piñata. And that she'd be back in 1 hour.
Look after Karen's. Kapan open audisi Bang Sio? Audisi apa? Ngapain ini? Ini ya? Ya kan bener kan? Nah, Melody 24. I love beach picnics and reunions. Okay. Ini kita.
John laughed at Melody's hilarious bullfrog story. She was adorable. Everything was going perfectly.
Hujan badai. Anjing badai cok. Cecate tidak Melody. Bajingan Melody ya.
John never saw Melody again.
What the fuck? Must be Alpha wear a suit. Anjir, wear a suit. 41 anjing. Sekarang main tua-tua cok.
So far, Weena had been a parade of weirdos and rejections. If this date didn't work out, John vowed to give it up. But maybe this time, maybe today would be his day. Sharona sighed and said, "You'll do."
Iya bang. Sabar bang. Anjing. What the? Oh ini date ya, ngedate ya mereka ya. Take a seat and English your date, okay.
John felt a little underdressed and a lot overwhelmed. He was surrounded by strangers, and Sharona was glaring at the muscular groom. At least John hadn't missed out on the cake. John realized that Sharona had only brought him to create some penis envy. What a terrible plan, for so many reasons.
So many reasons, okay.
John got excited. They were going to cut the cake.
He's mine! Sharona screamed as she launched herself at the newlyweds.
What the fuck?
Suddenly penises were up and yelling, "No, he's mine!" It was a no-holds-barred
What the heck? What
cockfight.
the hell, man? Rusuh anjing. No, rusuh. Just can't let the people who sit home with me. Just fuck this. Rusuh.
As John dodged flying glasses and cake, he felt a stab of envy. The groom had dozens of penises after him, and John had none. It was just wrong.
Rusuh.
John left the screams and explosions behind him. It was a disastrous end to his online dating. He had tried everything, and it just wasn't good enough. Swans were so simple. If you gave them bread, they liked you. But you can't take a swan to a reunion.
Definisi doa mantan ya. Gak mati ya.
John wanted what that groom had. Love. Real love. The kind that makes penises fight to the death.
Anjay, masuk udah.
Nyalain tuh showernya tuh.
Days later, the question was still bugging John. Why were so many penises in love with the groom? But no one loved John.
Ada soang aja, ada benda.
It wasn't fair. John deserved attention. He had money and Buttstagram pics of his adventures. He even still had quite a lot of stuff. What did that penis have that John didn't?
Udah. Oke. Wah, apaan ini game bagus ya. Game Bagus ke sini, guys.
Then it hit John.
Olahraga.
That penis was so strong and hard.
What the hell?
That's what everyone wanted. That's what John wasn't. That's what John had to be to find love. It was time to hit the gym.
Gimana nih peliharaan ikan? Peliharaan ikan yang bisa breakdance tapi hanya selama 30 detik dan hanya sekali seumur hidupnya, anjir.
John arrived at his local gym. A part of him couldn't believe he was here. He just wasn't a gym penis. But John had tried everything else. If he wanted to get the perfect date, he'd need to sign up. Sam? What was he doing here? Of course, Sam was married. John's theory was right. If you get muscles, you get love. Out of nowhere, Sam asked John how he was doing. Really doing. For a moment, John wanted to be honest. But he didn't come to gym to be a softie. John was here to get hard.
Ya udah. Nggak mau naik dia. Udah masuk ah. Udah amat.
It was John's first time in a gym since school. He tried not to read too much into that.
Get a membership, okay. We shall get a membership.
Sam went on ahead with a chipper promise to meet up with John inside.
Untuk get a membership, dude.
John had two options. He could try month by month, or if he signed the 10-year Big Muscles, Big Savings contract, he'd get a free, easy squeezy water bottle. John wasn't a sucker. He knew the importance of hydration.
Nyangkut, the fuck. Atau suaraku kegedean aja deh, bentar. Bentar ya guys, kok. Wih. Nah, ini harusnya mendingan sih. Oke.
The gym's clean peen pool policy meant that John would have to do something he had never done before. Get naked in front of strangers. Maybe he could set a record for speediest cleanse.
Ini kita suruh ngapain nih? Get naked. How to get naked?
Naked, John could feel the blanket of steam intimately against his private parts. John pretended he was alone and not surrounded by wrinkly, wet cocks. What was John nervous about? That he would be laughed at? There was nothing funny about
ini gimana Den?
penis.
Masih kecil nggak nih suaranya? Ini. Put on swimsuit.
Very fetching, John. It even matches your taglines. Time to conquer the pool. Sam enthusiastically greeted John and offered to show him around. Obviously not realizing that John was a natural athlete. The pool was like baptism, the icy water washing away John's flabby flab. He found his stroke, gliding through the water like an eel with large, ungainly testicles. This wasn't hard. John couldn't believe peens actually got gold medals just for splashing around. Maybe he could become an Olympian. He was slowing down a bit, flailing a bit, but John pushed on, knowing that looking good in a Speedo was the only thing that could save him from an empty existence. John wanted to take a break, forever. The pool was not his friend. It was not the blissful wet dream of his fantasies. It was a hellish prison of murderous fluid determined to drown him. No wonder life crawled out of the sea, desperate to escape the water. Done. John had not drowned, but more importantly, he had not quit. Time to hit the weight room.
Nyangkut anjing, what the hell man.
Gue naik ke itu nggak apa namanya tangganya.
The diving board. At school, all the peanlets had to jump off it, but John had been too scared. Well, John wasn't a scared peanut anymore.
Anjay, bisa cuy. Udah.
Kebalik
Seru,
Cok.
Bang. Hah?
Kebalik. Bukan. Atas.
Oh ini.
John's muscles bunched and bulged. The time in the gym was already
John
paying off.
capek berenang yoi, John capek
Fresh
berenang.
from conquering the pool, John felt ready for anything the gym could throw at him, even heavy metal weights. Sam cheered John on, as if he needed it. Adrenaline coursed through John's veins, his butthole clenched like a fist. John was forging himself into the peen he saw on movie screens, bulging and sweat-slicked, hard and shiny. Boom! John was cocked and loaded.
Anjay.
Didn't Sam ever get out of breath? The stream of encouragement was exhausting.
Ini suruh ngapain, suruh lari nih. Kardio. What the hell, man?
Slow and steady. That's right, John. Like a lover. Or pouring gravy.
Anjing.
That had gotten John's heart rate up and his life expectancy down. John was sweating like a senator
What
on a
the
sex
hell?
tape, but he wasn't done. John took a deep breath, clenched, and pulled. Sam made this look so easy. John squashed the thought. He'd just have to push harder. John tried to make eye contact with Sam, get in his head a bit. Sam didn't seem to notice John, but John could tell Sam was impressed.
Inilah beda bebannya anjing.
Even though he still hadn't looked at John, not that it mattered to John, because John was in the zone. Deep in the zone.
Wih, sampai rusak.
With the sound of a deflating truck tire, John's sphincter gave out. Sam congratulated John for trying and told him it was okay to take things slow, as if John was going to quit. Well, he wasn't. John had a mission, and the reunion was getting closer.
Ya kalah lah lu gak bisa naik lagi. Sampai
Ini sih rusak ya anjing.
Ya.
Kita nyoba di jok.
Dulu
Biar
tangan.
Kalau udah diangkat cok. Flex those steps. Nah,
Makan.
Five weeks until reunion. Oke, 5 minggu lagi. Nice. So the water, who's the boss? Yes, I'm the boss. Yes, I'm the chicken destroyer. Protein. Sampai rusak anjing. Kontek protein. Turu. Self worth, yes.
Self worth.
Good on the right. Kanan. What the fuck? What the hell? Emang gini, Cok?
Hah? Ya itu lu harus bisa nyebrang tanpa ketabrak.
Bisa. Terus? What the hell, man? No, jangan titit saya. What the hell is that? Anjing, Cok. Oh, sudah. Go through on the left. Ya. The heck, dude. Haha, I know. Bam, motherfucker. Good throw on the right. No, gua gak percaya sama lu anjing, ngomong kiri. Tai. Udah. Kanan.
Saya tungguin aja.
Bentar. Boleh mana boleh?
Saya.
Cacat nih. Kasih lu cewek gak guna anjing lu. Mati aja sono. Dari tadi dabrak mulu ya, Cok.
As soon as John woke up, the mirror called to him. His abs looked like a pack of vacuum-sealed hot dogs. Tasty. Jim had remade John into a sculpted Adongus.
3 week until reunion.
He was finally everything a teen should
traveled,
be.
photogenic,
Successful,
find a date.
traveled, and photogenic.
Find a date? No.
It was time for his morning pre-gym workout.
Itu treadmill, harus itu treadmill. Oh. Jadi berotot ini anjing, si John tuh. Goblok. Ya anjing dia narkoba.
The reunion invitation caught John's eye.
Tujuannya John kan biar berotot.
Read the invite. Where's the invite?
Itu baca.
He read it again.
Ini.
And again. Stunned. He'd gotten the date wrong. Very wrong. The reunion was tonight. Tonight!
Kamu pakai baju yang keren tuh harusnya.
He'd have to go alone. They'd all be there, and they'd look at John and they'd know he was still a loser. No, there was still time. John needed a date fast. He'd have to go out. He'd have to make an impact. John had to dress his best, only better. This isn't the time for comfort, John. Oh my, John. Welcome to the gun show. That's a choice, I suppose. There had to be someone single and desperately alone in the city. Someone besides John. He just had to find them. John went straight to the nearest bar. Sure, it was still early, but he couldn't waste any time. There must be some day drinkers he could pick up. It was a classy place. Even the vomit was high quality.
Oh salah. Baru yang ini.
The bouncer looked like a hagfish that had taken up lacrosse.
Gimana? Nggak bisa juga.
Much better. John stepped into the bar and saw her. The answer to the question, what was John's purpose? Her. Loving her. Being with her. Taking her to the reunion. Their eyes met and John knew she felt the same.
Cepet si John anjing.
Gladys did not feel the same. But John wasn't going to give up on their life together. A couple of drinks would loosen her up to their destiny. Wow, Gladys was not an amateur when it came to drinking. John had to keep up. It was working. Gladys was definitely warming up to John.
Mulu kamu John.
John's bladder was very full. It sloshed audibly as he moved.
Find the restroom. Muntah nih si John nih. Yakin kan. Bukan. Holy balls. John had never felt such relief.
Juga. Kok malah kangen ya Bang ya?
John looked around. Gladys was gone. John cursed his petite bladder.
Gila. Demi gue mati.
The bored bartender shrugged and told John Gladys had left because some creep was trying to get her drunk.
Was trying to get her drunk. Find the script. What the fuck?
The bar was empty. The creep must have left too. It was clear the cockpit was on autopilot. Time for John to hit the next bar.
Nah, terus gimana tadi tuh?
John's anxiety had sunk under the surface. Beer he drank, while his confidence was floating high. This was the place he'd find love.
Masuk ke bartendernya, ke barnya.
It was empty, except for the bartender. Clearly this bar's only special was unhappy hour. Two for one was a good deal though, and so far the beer had lifted John's spirits. Another 4 would make him feel twice as good.
Mabuk-mabukan lagi deh anjing.
The bartender gave John a smile that set his heart hammering. He had to impress her.
It's the bartender. Kasih uang lagi.
Wah anjing, apa lu?
What was so offensive about offering a big tip in exchange for a date? John had thought bartenders loved tips. He needed to find a better club, one with a vibe.
4 hours and 15 minutes until reunion.
John was drawn by the pulse of the music. It pulled him forward like a moth to a fiery death. John was running out of time to find a date and prove that he wasn't a loser. Dancing, the real way to flirt. The way of animals, of wild sexual creatures. John strutted and shook his booty. With booze buzzing round his head, John found himself on the dance floor. Everyone was up close and sweaty. John was exhilarated. He felt alive. John was working himself up to try a little bump and grind.
Sahabat si anjing.
Emang gitu
It was a
kayaknya.
moment out of a movie. John alone on the dance floor with a gorgeous penis, their sexual chemistry exploding.
Nah itu.
She moved away, coyly. John could tell when someone was playing hard to get. He let her marinate in the tension before making his move. John wasn't taking no for an answer. Some people have no sense of fun, but John was certain the next bar would be different. The next bar wasn't different. John couldn't understand why everyone was so sensitive. It was like no one wanted to have a good time. Like no one had a sense of humor.
Thank you Mutia, thank you semangat ya. Kamu juga semangat.
John
ya
had meant that as a compliment. When did the world get so uptight?
Kasian John anjir sumpah.
John's ego was as bruised as his shaft. He had to admit it.
Kenapa
He failed.
dunia sangat jahat
He was
kepada
where
John,
he belonged. In a
Kenapa
creepy
dunia
murder alley
sangat jahat
covered in
sekali
trash.
kepada John gitu ya? Why? Game sus banget ya, game ambigu. That's why.
John would have to go through the garbage to get out. Oh,
Dibuat ya,
that's gross.
Lewat sampah anjir.
Oh,
Shit.
it's so moist, but textured. It smells like rotting dick yogurt. John's misery was sour in his mouth. He needed a drink to wash it down. There was still one bar he hadn't been kicked out of yet.
Habis itu bar. One how to reunion anjir.
John had cleaned himself up as much as possible. He really needed a mint.
Suruh kemana? Coba VTuber. Press itu squid coin. Oke, terus insert 1000.
Karena susah lah, ntar itu suruh mecahin.
John got it in, but he needed more to satisfy the machine.
How to do it? What the fuck? Wait, so hard, dude. Aduh, sus banget. Kayak ular sawah. Kayak ular sawah gitu astaga. No, it's not.
Nailed it.
Nah, ntar kan nyangkut kan. Oke, akhirnya itu.
John let out his anger, his frustration. Life was a shitty joke. It wasn't fair. You want to mess with John? Do you?
Pan kentut anjing.
Ya itu dipasin ke itunya tadi mesin.
Pantat teh.
Udah.
Palanya.
Kepalanya. Nah terus.
This is
Enter.
what you
Oh,
get.
gitu. Oh gitu caranya. Ayo John, kau masih bisa. Salah.
Fuck you, you fucking thing. You had one job. Die, 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 die!
Sangat penting sekali.
Ayo, tolong aku.
Sabar, emku sangat jelek sekali di game ini, cacat ya em. So, mampus.
That's how you get what you want.
Kopi patat.
Menthol.
Mentol. Kena kaca lagi anjing. Sakit, Cok. Buset, darah-darah semangat ya, woi, cuy. Kenapa naruh sangat semangat sekali? Ada yang mau masuk. Mantap sekali. Mantap sekali.
John wanted the strongest drink they had. Rough night? Someone asked John. He hadn't noticed her when he came in, but now he did. It really had been a rough night for John, but he felt a little better that someone cared enough to ask.
Kenapa game ini dibuat aku juga nggak tahu, guys.
It was a pity they were... But destiny had given John a second chance. John made his move. Unfortunately, according to Alice and her boyfriend, Chadrick, it was the wrong move.
Sorry bang. Ya, dibuang lagi.
Chadrick threw John into the alley and followed, making unoriginal but still terrifying threats.
Mampus lu anjing.
Get him, John!
Mampus lu.
I can't watch.
Mampus lu anjing.
John had survived. No, he'd won. He'd won. He wasn't a loser. And there was the proof lying in a bruised, bloody heap. John didn't need a date to the reunion. He needed to go over there and beat the pre-cum out of those dicks. High school reunion, the perfect time to teach someone a lesson.
Get out of here. How? Oh, sudah anjing. Minggir anjing. Gua John nih, John Wick anjir. John si petarung handal John Wick ini cuy.
The doors of the school, a sight John had dreaded every day for years, and now he was going willingly through them, unafraid, fueled by years of unprocessed anger fermented in loneliness. John was back.
Finally reuni guys ya. Duduk ya tuh. Duduk dulu ya kan.
The chickens were coming home to roost, and they were all cocks.
Fine tulis. Palu bang.
These were the peanuts he'd grown up with. Now with jobs and marriages and beer bellies, John was surprised at how ordinary they had all turned out. He spotted them, John's tormentors. Time for them to feel the wrath.
Coba disuruh gelut lagi.
That's the stuff, John.
Gelut lagi anjing, mampus. Mampus lu anjing. Mati lu anjing. Aduh, nggak kena.
Who's a loser now? Who?
Gelutin aja, terus gelutin. Terus aduk kentut, ayo aduk kentut, dikit lagi tuh.
Dodge!
Gak bisa, susah, kira gampang.
Shake off the pain, buddy. Don't let up. Get in there. Whoa!
Yo lo.
Pow!
Mampus lu anjir.
John had won. He'd won. No one could say John was a loser now.
Solo player yoi. Aku malah jadi betah ya nonton. Loh, kok gitu kamu, bahaya ya? Waduh. Bahaya.
John's primal joy faded as he saw how the other penises looked at him.
Malah yang hal
Not like a winner, like he was trash.
Anjir si John like trash. Terus ngapain?
John tumbled down the steps, hitting every bruise on his length and his ego. It was her, Harmony. She had been at the reunion. She'd seen it all and followed John out. To laugh at him more?
Palu
No,
gitu sini.
to see if he was all right. Why did that hurt John so
Kenapa di sini
much?
Harmoni? Kenapa lu sini?
This was John's chance to ask her why all those years ago she'd said to him, "No one will ever love you." Harmony stared at John in shock. How could John not know why? Didn't John remember what he'd done?
Muntah lagi. Muntah-muntah cuy. Muntah-muntah lu dia. Gila si John nih, muntah-muntah deh. Apa nih kenapa nih? Ini awal lagi anjing. John nggak pakai baju, iya John nggak pakai baju nih Pak. Gak ada apple. Mau nggak nih keluar nih sama gue? Gak mau kan lu pasti parah lu Harmoni. Wajir, malah jadi John sekarang yang gede. One will ever love you. Oke. Gila, ketain. What the hell? Wah, John jadi gede sekali cok sekarang cok.
Pasti.
Bajang kali anjing. Ya nyangkut aja.
Awas jangan sampai kena yang
apa?
Nakitin.
Keluar kadut iya keluar kadut. Berjalan hutan. Terus ini masuk rumah ya?
Iyalah.
Ini juga masuk rumah itu coba. Masuk lubang. Anjir. Si John jadi ini ya, Bang. Jadi monster sekarang, Cok. Fuck, what happened to you, John? Jadi monster sekarang, John. Mimpi buruk sih anjir, hell man. Terus what happened ini? 6 hours later. Okay.
There was nothing Sam enjoyed more than the fresh air of an early morning.
Cok, ini masih harus player
The
dua ya?
dew sparkling on the
That's fun to
grass,
play with.
the music of the trees, space to think.
Oh, ini berarti ini apa namanya? Oh, jadi bisa dua orang ya?
What was that smell?
Sampai sini kamu nggak tahu.
It made Sam's
Oh.
eye water. It was
tuh,
John,
patut, tuh.
passed out and crusted with vomit and regret. John was awake
Main
and
berdua,
tolerably clean. Sam tried to be gentle and invited John to join him on his walk.
Terus kita harus goreng dua aja. Muntah-muntah itu. Ini John yang hitam, John yang hitam, yang pakai baju hitam yang John, yang pakai baju yang pakai sweater tuh si Sam.
Sam coaxed John along. It was like herding compost.
Please return to work. Pucetnya. Susah sih kontrolnya kalau salah satu orang ini.
John couldn't answer Sam's questions yet. How had he ended up such a wreck?
kasar bet ya sampe anjing. Gila cok, dikasarin sama Sam. Terus
John immediately felt better, but his head was still pounding, and not in a good way.
what the hell man? Gas ya, tidak.
Sam couldn't resist the tasty treat. If only John could fly away from his pain as
Mau pamit
easily.
dulu Kak, jaringan sedang baik-baik saja, semangat terus ya Kak. Oke Mutia Putri Anggra ini, thank you udah mampir ya. Suruh ngapain ini?
Even that bit of senseless destruction couldn't cheer John up.
What the hell?
Sam saw his friend's misery. He suggested they keep going. John wanted to know something. Why didn't anyone love him?
Ya nyemplung anjing.
As soon as he said it, he felt like a softie, whining about his feelings.
Anjing mengkeret cok, kena air mengkeret langsung ini.
But Sam didn't make fun of him. Sam asked him to go on. And so John told him the whole story about how hard he'd made himself and how unfair it felt, and everything he'd done. Saying it out loud, John realized he'd sounded like an asshole. But he'd done everything right. Why didn't he get what he wanted? Why didn't John get love?
Ya anjir. Bener. Ya sebenarnya si Sam ini cewek atau
Wanting
cowok? Cok?
someone isn't the same as loving them, said
Cowok
Sam. You'll figure it out, John. But you have to keep trying.
Walaupun kalau ternyata si Sam ini ntar sama John pacaran aja. Sebuah plot twist aja sumpah.
How about a bike ride? Sam asked. John struggled to get his balance, but Sam told him not to give up. John kept trying, getting better as they went.
Naik sepeda anjir. The fuck. No, tidak John, awas.
Kami nabrak cok.
Masuk, sabar cok. Anjir. Udah soang. Bisa cok, itu naik sepeda.
Bonjo keluar bentar ya, mau nyari es. Tak ngerti.
Mati si Sam. Sisa mati. Mati ya nggak jadi.
Sampai jadi mati.
Tabrak. Bodoh amat, tabrakin aja, tabrak. Cok, nyangkut cok, nyangkut anjing. Anjing merah banget. Nyangkut. lu nyangkut bangsat. Nah, bisa tuh kira.
John and Sam stopped and looked at the sunset. For a moment, John let himself be quiet and listen to the world and look at how beautiful it could be. Life can be hard, said Sam, but that doesn't mean we have to be.
Tamat anjir. Hell nih, tamat dong. Akhirnya kita menamatkan GENITAL JOUSTING Story Mode ya saudara-saudara. Scott biar aku lihat.
Pakai alat.
Bisa tuh nggak pakai alat.
Coba ini pakai alat.
Waduh. Dan akhirnya Sam dan John pun menikah.
Tepat. Pukulin bro.
Penir emotion tuh. Kayak puasa bro.
Kuat.
Cacat puasa ini. Bisa. Untuk lot yaudah pakai ya ini. Ada. Get to know some wife and kids. Oh.
Dimasak cok. Tuang.
Iya cok. Marah cok, kasihan cok. Help. Buru. Tangga, pakai tangga. Buruan tangganya anjing. Anjing sumpah. What's a Titanic? Nenene. Anjing. Kucingnya. Selesai. Dah habis. Si Harmoni. Ketemu sama si Harmoni. Gue cerotin mulu nih. Nih. What the heck? A Better John, oke. Original Gem Game, Original Art, Special Thanks, Sound Country, Trailer, what the hell. Gila nih bisa tamat ternyata guys ya. Keren. Well, ya sudah lah ya. Thanks for playing, you're welcome. Gila nih game. Gimana ya? Everything it's about yep. Sudah lah ya. Oke, anyway, karena udah lah ya, kita sudah live stream juga. Udah kita quit game dah. Anyway, ya thank you semuanya banyak sudah join live stream pada malam hari ini. Thank you everyone, thank you for everything. Gila, thank you for everything. Thank you everyone, thank you for coming. Live streamnya seru. Dari game ulasan saya tentang game ini. Saya sebenarnya udah sempat main, cuman yang story ya aku belum sempat mainin deh storynya. Cuman overall sebenarnya game seru sih. Karena apa ya? Karena bisa dibilang menceritakan itu sebuah kehidupan seorang, apa ya, bisa dibilang ya, seorang John yang awalnya dibully ya kan, terus jadi pemenang gitu. Dia cuman menang tapi nggak menang juga sih, karena dia nggak punya pacar ya, kasihan juga sih dia sih. Ya sudah lah, tapi emang game seru sih, ini bisa main multiplayer juga, dan multiplayer cukup seru ya, walaupun mungkin apa namanya nggak banyak sih, kayak selain stage-nya itu kurang kali ya kan, bisa di sini juga, tapi overall masih seru. Nah sudah lah ya, mungkin live stream kali ini kita sampai sini aja dulu karena sudah selesai juga game ya. Mungkin kita bakal lanjut entahlah kapan, mungkin besok. Kalau misalnya besok apa namanya ada waktu juga untuk live stream lagi, aku bakal live stream lagi, oke? Ditunggu aja live stream selanjutnya kapan. Aku belum bisa ngasih jadwal juga karena memang saat ini juga masih ada beberapa urusan juga, tapi nanti yang pastinya bakal ada gitu live streamnya. Aku usahakan seminggu sekali lah ya, kali ya mungkin ya. Jadi udah lah ya. Jadi oke, thank you semuanya buat yang sudah nonton dan sudah join live stream pada hari ini, malam ini. Thank you semuanya, thank you for watching. See you next time, goodbye, adios, bye bye. Asuchat, asumat, asukare sama desta, otsura, bye bye semuanya, thank you. Selamat beristirahat. Oke, besok Minggu jangan lupa yang mau ibadah, tiap minggunya ibadah, oke? Betul tidak, Rehan? Rehan menghilang, tidak apa-apa ya, sudah ya, bye bye semuanya, thank you.